Good morning. It is Wednesday, the 10th of September today. Another beautiful autumnal day. It's a bit fresh in the morning, but not cold, and the sun is out. I think it's gonna stay like this. We have a very light wind from the south, about 5 knots or so. So again, nothing to sail with, but we enjoy a nice cruise. We left Sortland this morning at 8 o'clock, about half an hour ago, and we're on the way towards the Risøyhamn. We've done that last year again. That's a narrow, shallow part where we have to go through that connects this area with Andfjorden, and then we'll cross Andfjorden, go across to a new place we haven't been yet, to Bjarkøy, and we're going to spend 1 or 2 days there tomorrow, I think, and on Friday it's rather high winds, so we're gonna stay in harbour there and probably make the last hop to Finnsnes on Saturday and Sunday. That's the plan. We're on the way. It's about 30 nautical miles to go. We've done almost 10 already. Timed it perfectly well. Down there is the Hurtigruten. She stops in Risøyhamn, and that's probably one of the narrowest spaces on the whole journey we're doing today. So we just decided to make a little turn, burn some time here, give the Hurtigruten Polaris time to make her docking maneuvers. Where she's turning around, she even has to turn 180 degrees because the door is on the wrong side. So go in there, and once she's fast, we will pass by her and make a short excursion into Risøyhamn, and then we hope we will be off when they turn again, because they will have to turn again to come out and to go underneath the bridge. So we don't want to interfere with the Hurtigruten boat. That wouldn't come out well, and that's why we're circling a bit here in the area. The entrance into Risøyhamn is narrow and shallow, but well marked, and there is a small visitor pontoon large enough for Polaris, and there will be enough depth for us alongside, despite what the charts say. Nevertheless, this is not a stop for us. We carry on. There's about 2 knots of tide through here, so we're being pushed through with a good 8 knots. The channel here is quite narrow, and it's stretched to about 7.5 meters or so, and on both sides, left and right, is just shallow, flat 1 meter or so. So it's an interesting place. What about some fish tonight, we think? A suitable fishing spot is quickly identified on the chart, and down goes the lure. As usual, it just takes a few moments for 2 tusk fish to bite. That's dinner sorted. Well, after having been quite successful in fishing, we see quite a few fishing buoys here that are going through the fairway. We had to alter our course slightly, but now it looks free again, so should be okay. Catherine is on fishing buoy watch, but I think we should be okay now. There is a cable straight ahead. It's charted at 34 meters, so that's plenty of room. We draw 22 meters, so it's 12 meters clearance above, which is plenty, provided that the chart is right, but I don't think it will be erroneous for more than 10 meters, so I'm pretty sure we can fit underneath. The chart says 34 meters. The panel there reads 30.3 meters, so quite a difference, still enough for us, but can't believe
we are going.
Scary.
Yeah, very scary. But I don't think that you can see. Now we are underneath. And lost.
8 meters of clearance.
So you live in the dream. You should see it through someone else's side. Another cipher to break, while the grass grows underneath my feet. Been running out of time for so long. Hello, 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 Leah. Now I'm running out of so long. Hello, 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 Leah. Hope I got the time to tell you. Hello, 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 Leah. Hello, Leah. Hello, 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 Leah. Hello, 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 Leah.
Nergårdsvika on the island of Bjarkøy is a great little harbour. Bjarkøy used to be a major Viking centre where young Viking princes learned how to man up. We stopped here for 2 days and explored the island. We spotted the first northern lights of the season, an unmistakable sign that winter can't be far now. Catherine went on a trail run to Stangheia, the local hill, and we stocked up with foraged porcini. They were most plentiful in the nearby woods. Mushrooms can be such a piece of art. Before we leave for our final leg to Finnsnes, we take the opportunity to fuel up here with the fuel pontoon located so conveniently close. That will take us a long way into the winter in Finnsnes. Bye Bjarkøy. You were a wonderful place. Sails are up. We got a nice breeze, 16 knots apparent from about 55 degrees, so that's the angle Polaris likes, and the waves are, the sea is quite flat, so it's quite okay. I think at least until we're coming into the suns we should be able to sail. Looks nice. Finally. Well, why should it be different than any other time? We had nice wind, like an apparent of 16 to 18 knots. We pulled up the sails. It was beautiful to sail for about 15 minutes, and then the wind died, and now we got like maybe 5 knots, giving us a boat speed of 2 knots. That's not even enough to keep course, so we're back to engine. Sails are still up. We might come into other patches of wind, but and they can dry a bit, but It looked very promising, but again, nothing to write home about. But we're used to that. The season draws to an end. We are on our last 6 miles into Finnsnes, where we spend another winter. It's been a long and a great season. We started on the 18th or 19th, I think, of May it was, and now is the 13th of September, so it's quite normally long. Usually we started a bit earlier, but then we were normally in at the beginning of September, so I think it maybe was only about a week shorter than what we had done usually. And in contrast to other seasons, this was a very intense one. Sailing wise, we've done, I think, as many nautical miles as we have never done before by far. Well, others might laugh at this, but we've done 2,000, I think, 400, 500 nautical miles in one season, which is quite a thing for us. Normally it was between 1,000 and 1,500 with the type of sailing we do. So we've done a lot of nautical miles. We motored a lot as well because of the situation. We've been as far as North Cap on our own keel on Polaris, but we have extended that to the Russian border when we made a little trip with the Hurtigruten boat to Kirkenes, which is just right at the Russian border. So we've done the whole coast from there to Tromsø back. We've been up to Svalbard, which was a very interesting adventure. We've seen a lot of things that took quite some time to digest and actually to put into order, but it was a brilliant trip there. And then to top it off, the last couple of weeks we went around Senja and around the Vesterålen Islands. We're just back from that trip, which was also something we wanted to do for a long time. And so a great season's end, and we're looking forward to what's coming during the winter. Hopefully more skiing, a little bit of boat work, and some other projects that we will tell you about later on. The season.
For me it was the most challenging season, also emotionally. So for me it was emotionally very challenging. I think the highs were really high, but I also had my lowest low. Yeah, that sailing, and I was really happy that we could go outside Senja, do Vesterålen, and just had this couple of weeks with brilliant, nice weather, sunny, and just to have this time to calm down and now settle in Finnsnes. I'm looking forward for the winter, and you already saw the northern lights, so everything is nice at the moment and life is good again.
Here we see a tow. There's a tug in front, and on the back is a large fishing vessel, and the fishing vessel is being towed by the tug. I'm not sure whether you can see the line, the cable, how it's called, between the two boats, but it's definitely there. And in the distance, just around the corner, we see the first buildings of Finnsnes. And as we dock the boat, I will tell you what comes next. Before we can take a short break and visit family and friends in Switzerland, there is one important job still waiting for us. Polaris has to be made ready for the winter. It is mid-September, which may sound early, but here the seasons change quickly. Snow in October is not unusual, and once winter arrives, it does not ask whether the boat is ready. The first things to come down are the solar panels. During Mørketid, the dark season, they are not of much use anyway. More importantly, they are not designed to carry half a meter of snow during the winter. The sails are a different story. Normally, we would take them down before leaving the boat, but this year we missed the dry, windless weather window we needed. So for the first time in many years, we decided to leave them up. Next come the engine and generator. Both raw water cooling circuits have to be winterized with glycol to protect them from freezing temperatures. Time to winterize the engine. I've already flushed it with fresh water, and now we're putting in some glycol. So I have a hose connected here to the pump, directly to the water pump, and this goes into the container, and we will now suck the whole container in and another one, and then I think that should be okay.
She's my high maintenance baby.
Then I make a trip to Biltema, the Scandinavian hardware chain, and buy some pipe heating cables. They are normally used to keep water pipes from freezing, but I have another idea. I fit them in a spiral inside the battery and water maker compartments, hoping they will give off just enough warmth to keep those spaces above freezing. There is one more thing that makes leaving the boat a little easier: remote monitoring. Being able to check the temperatures in all critical places on Polaris and to switch on the diesel heater remotely via the internet is a great relief. It means that even from Switzerland we can keep an eye on the boat and react if the cold becomes a problem. Looking back, that little experiment with the heating cable worked perfectly. While we were away over Christmas, temperature dropped as low as -20 degrees and the harbour even froze over for a while, but the compartments stayed comfortably warm. Before leaving, we also emptied the water tanks and opened the freshwater lines to drain them as well as possible. Blowing them out with a compressor would have been ideal, but most of the lines are below the water line where the risk of freezing is lower. And to keep condensation at bay during the winter, we cover all windows with a double layer of bubble wrap and special cling film. This extra layer of insulation worked very well last winter, and although it blocks the view from inside, it works perfectly again and helps to keep the boat dry and warm. And with that, Polaris is as ready as we can make her for the long northern winter. We normally switch our cameras off during the winter. Time to get a break from filming. But as you bore with us that far, here are a few impressions of our favorite winter activity in Arctic Norway. So today we're on a hike, on a ski tour. We're going to Underdalen. We're in Underdalen National Park, and today we're skiing to a little cabin, a small cabin that is by a lake which is frozen now, and we're going to spend the night there. There's an oven, a few beds, and we got everything with us: sleeping bag, food, stuff to make a fire, and now we're going to check this out. Beautiful day today, not a lot of wind. There was a lot of wind when we left in Finnsnes in the harbour, but over here there's no wind at all. And it's just nice, the sun is out. It's about -10 degrees, crisp, but everything is fine. Join us next time when we start an early sailing season in the Arctic and visit stunning places we have missed out so far on our journey north.